The National Guard has been put on high alert as it's expected that 49 states will be affected by what experts are calling as extreme weather conditions. The weather is so bad that even Texas is telling its residents to just stay at home. So at this point, only Arizona doesn't have an extreme weather alert, but who knows what's going to happen as we continue to experience this polar vortex. However, besides these freezing temperatures that we're feeling, some fear that these conditions may open up the possibility of domestic terror attacks, as we've been warned multiple times by the likes of Iran, Russia, and even China about meddling with their own conflicts, which basically means that the American people may be impacted by all of this in more ways than one. Now, this isn't just closed in on the weather that we're feeling right now, okay? This could also affect any other extreme weather conditions that we may face in the future, meaning that the entire nation will literally have to worry about, more than just the rain, the snow, or even floods when it comes to their disasters.
Severe weather wreaking havoc. From snow to high winds to dangerously low temperatures across the country.
Every time I see a snow, I was like, oh my God, here you go again.
In fact, every state except Arizona is under some sort of extreme weather alert. A major Arctic blast threatening millions with below zero temps. Up to 100 record lows across the country over the next several days. The first major snowfall of the season in Michigan striking at the height of rush hour.
I was in traffic for about an hour and 15 minutes. And I only was able to travel about a quarter mile.
In Wisconsin, snowstorms knocking out power to 67,000.
The biggest concern is the house is freezing. So it's 32 or less right now because it's snowing, but the house when I woke up was 66 degrees.
The Midwest getting up to a foot of snow. In places like Iowa, they're still digging out from storms earlier this week.
2 snowstorms back to back feels like a little much. Usually I'm used to just 1 a week, so this feels like extra.
How are the conditions in your area right now? How's your weather? You see, guys, this is genuine fear out there. There isn't just a cozy Christmas for everyone where you can just fire up the fireplace and all that. People are actually fearing for their lives. It's also why government officials are calling up the National Guard and are calling on state of emergencies as things seem to be getting a little bit out of hand.
The National Guard called up prepared for blizzard conditions and what they're calling life-threatening cold behind it in several states. Wind chills, get this, from 20 to 65 degrees below zero. The blizzard warnings in the Midwest, snow across the Great Lakes tonight, a half a foot in some areas outside Chicago. Severe storms in the south, and heavy rain into the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, with rivers already dangerously high. Montana, by the way, in the blizzard zone. These are pictures there. Wind chills 50 to 65 degrees below zero on the way next. Heavy snow, dangerous driving in the Chicago metro area, a semi-jackknifing. This is I-90 traffic brought to a halt. Downed trees and power lines in Skokie, Illinois tonight. Blinding snow and bitter cold in Des Moines, Iowa. Of course, the caucus is there, just 3 days away now. And look at this, the de-icing of the planes at Chicago's O'Hare Airport today, a ground stop for a time there. More than 2,000 flights canceled nationwide tonight.
Look at this, guys. Even the state of Texas is saying that things are going to get rough. The local government over there is actually saying that Texans should stay inside their homes at least until after this weather is behind them. However, Governor Abbott did say that this isn't going to come anywhere close to what they faced 3 years ago when 4.1 million Texans faced days without power, a problem that they hope to avoid this time. Businesses to a complete halt and households who didn't prepare beforehand would really suffer a lot. However, some are staying optimistic, saying that things are going to be going back to normal in different areas, and to be honest, that's really good news. But there is some concern though, and take this with a grain of salt, okay? So some analysts are predicting that these weather conditions may become more of a smokescreen for something that's far worse, something that many people will not be ready for. Which brings me to what's happening in the Middle East right now. As you guys know, tensions there continue to rise, and it really does not look like things are going to ease up anytime soon. We know that the Iran-backed Houthis have vowed to retaliate against the United States, given that we've attacked parts of Yemen multiple times now.
The U.S. and UK launched airstrikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen and retaliation to their attacks on ships in the Red Sea.
All right, Lizette Nunez on the east side where protests are expected today. What's going on?
Good morning, Roseanne and Tashani. Well, President Biden is defending the retaliatory attack. He says the measure is meant to protect international commerce, but also he's getting a lot of criticism from within his own party. The U.S. and the U.K. launching a massive retaliatory strike in areas of Yemen controlled by Iranian-backed Houthis. The strikes carried out using missiles and fighter jets. For weeks, Houthi militants have stepped up attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea, claiming the violence is a response to the Israel-Hamas war.
The Houthis need to stop these attacks and that they will bear the consequences for any failure to do so.
This is the first military response after the U.S. and other nations issued a final warning to the Houthis to cease attacks. President Biden warned he would not hesitate to direct further measures to continue to protect others as well as international commerce. Houthi rebels say the U.S.-led airstrike killed 5 people and wounded 6. Yesterday, the leader of Houthi militants promised a bigger response to any attacks by the U.S.
Any American aggression will never go unanswered. The response to any American attack will not be at the level of the operation that was recently carried out with 24 drones and several missiles, but rather much greater.
Several Democratic lawmakers criticized the retaliatory attack, fearing it could lead to another war. Representative Mark Pocan from Wisconsin writing on X, the United States cannot risk getting entangled into another decades-long conflict without congressional authorization. The White House must work with Congress before continuing these airstrikes in Yemen.
And so this is why some experts are worried, given that weather has always been a factor when it comes to war. I mean, it's absolutely plausible that bad actors may take advantage of these problems and cause even more chaos on top of it. I mean, think about it for a second. If a power outage happens during frigid conditions, what's your first thought? Oh, the power went out because demand was too high and everything's frozen, right? That's logical. But do you think that it's possible that someone just kind of pulls the plug when that time comes up? That a terrorist attack will be conducted under the guise of extremely bad weather? Now, from what we're hearing, this is exactly possible and is the exact reason as to why we should be preparing for possible outages, not just with the power, but with water, even communications. But what do you guys think about all this? And as far as I'm concerned, I will get you guys informed and updated as much as I can every single day on everything that's happening all around us. Now, before I go, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.